And yes, he is my favorite Irishman, even better than Bono, Paul O'Mahony. Welcome to Thrive. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you for having me here. You know, if you ask most people if they could have a magic wand and you could fix one problem for them, most of them wouldn't start with health. They'd actually probably start with finances.
What would be 3 tips that you could give people right now that would be actionable to take advantage of this online world that exists? Instagram and on Facebook. I'm Susana Kennedy and welcome to Thrive. I am super excited to have one of my good friends, and yes, he is my favorite Irishman, even better than Bono, Paul O'Mahony. Welcome to Thrive. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you for having me here.
We're laughing because I've just actually done a few intros for Paul's new TV series that he's been busy with, which maybe you can tell everyone a little bit about. But in it, I said my favorite Irishman, and Stephen, my boyfriend, was like, what? More than Bono? I was like, better than Bono. Paul O'Mahony is in the house. Now, Paul, you are a published author, an international speaker. You are an incredibly accomplished businessman, and you help people all over the world make money online. And I think with all of the craziness that is going on in the world, it is so important now more than ever for people to focus on having businesses online, whether it's their own business or even creating more businesses online. Do you want to tell everyone a little bit about Rethink and how you came up with your Rethink platform?
Absolutely, yeah. And thank you, Susana, for giving me the opportunity. So I'm the founder of a company called the Rethink Academy. And basically what we're looking to do is to just empower people to rethink where they're at right now, to create new results in their lives. And fundamentally, you know, if you ask most people if they could have a magic wand and you could fix one problem for them, most of them wouldn't start with health. They'd actually probably start with finances, because everyone knows they can manage their health. They just got to eat less, move more, drink water, right? Eventually that's going to work out. But a lot of people have a big fear around money. They see it as a necessary evil. We've been brought up to believe that it's a simple equation of you get paid per hour. The more hours you put in, the more money you make, etc. And a lot of people right now just that lifestyle isn't suiting them. You know, as you said, the world has changed so dramatically. You know, in South Africa, especially, unemployment has gone through the roof, and you can see the kind of challenges that that's creating on, like, literally day to day right now on the streets of Johannesburg and various places. And so why do you think those people are out there, right? It's not because of lack of health necessarily. It's because they're scared about their money. It's about they don't see a financial future for themselves or for their children, and they're literally out there looking for the basics. So never has it been more obvious that this problem is absolutely critical, that we have been brought up to rely on others to solve our financial challenges, and we work in their businesses to make them rich so that we can just about get by. And I think the point of rethinking this is, does that really make sense? Is that what we really want to do? Is that why we spent 20 years in school and college and learning things and getting qualified and getting educations so that we can help others get wealthy? You know, and that doesn't really make sense when you sit down and think about it. It doesn't make anybody bad or anything. It just means we're from a system that's outdated. So one of the silver linings of COVID, of which there are very few as far as I can see, but one of them is this, is that it really has brought into our focal point that we are literally a single virus away from financial ruin. Most people are, because you can lose your job now literally overnight because a company could close down. So I've been preaching this for 10 years, but I think never has it been so clearly obvious now that if you are reliant on one income source, you've got a major issue. So I'm basically saying, why not utilize the biggest bank in the world right now, which is the internet, right? Nobody disagrees anymore about the internet going away, right? We know this is here to stay. We know that this is the first place that people go to spend their money. The challenge is so few people ever consider making withdrawals from it. If you think it like a bank, most people have no problem making deposits onto the internet, but most people think it's a scam to even consider making withdrawals from it, right? What kind of a bank would that be if you just put money in and never take it out? But that's how most people view the internet. So I want to show people how they can set up an income stream from the internet, ideally aligned with the kind of things they enjoy to do, etc. So they can dip their toe in without taking risks, without borrowing money, without taking out loans, without feeling that they need to pack in their job to learn this, that it's something that they can learn with in the time they're already spending on the internet. Because most people are a lot more knowledgeable about the internet than they give themselves credit. And they feel like, you know, if you're going to have a business online, that you must be technical, you must have your own products and services, you need to have entrepreneurship in your blood, you need to really have this passion and mission and purpose and be willing to stand out and get knocked down. And all these things where we build it up to something that we're almost afraid to take the first step. And you got to remember, we're also surrounded by people that think exactly the same way. They almost don't want you to take the risk because they're nervous about you failing, right? They're even more nervous about you succeeding, to be honest, but they're definitely nervous about you failing because they feel like they'll have to pick up afterwards, etc., etc. So the thing about it is, I see my job as pressing your buttons to press these buttons, right, on your phone, on your keyboard, because that's literally what it takes to make money on the internet, is pressing buttons in the right order, because you already know how to make money on the internet. We're doing it every day, but making it for other people, I just say, why not learn how to make it for ourselves?
It's so true. And I think one of the things that people don't understand is they get so scared. They get so nervous about like diving in, because we've been kind of given this impression that it's such a huge effort. And guys, I don't want to lie to you. Initially, setting everything up is an effort because nothing is for free. So you've got to do the work of learning stuff and setting things up. But I remember doing your course. Paul, was it 2 years ago now that I did your course?
It was pre-COVID, so that feels like 10 years ago anyway.
I know.
So yeah, you could choose any number of years and I'll agree.
But I did your course, I think it was 2 years ago now, but it was
yeah.
It was,
I think I got a metal tube and went through the air and went to South Africa. Something vague memory of things the way they used to be.
Like that. Yeah, it was something like that. But I remember walking away, and there was so many things in those 4 days that actually answered questions that I didn't even know I had questions for. And that was so brilliant for me, but also that things can be automated. Guys, this is the like really key element here, is that if you do things right, you can start automating certain systems that will start earning you money without having to constantly be making huge amounts of effort. So it'll get you off the hamster wheel and actually into life, which is what all of us actually want. And I can see that there's lots of people tuning in. Hello, Tamara. Hello, Taya. Hello, Gavin. Hello, Sarah. Hello, Heidi. Hello, Mohammed. Hello, Rika. Hello, I can't say everybody's names, but hello, Kahil. Hello, Love. Hello, Margot. Hello, One I Am. If I don't get to all of you, I'm so sorry, but please remember to say hello and let me know where in the world you're tuning in from, because unless you say hello, I can't actually see who's online. So just say hi and let me know where you're tuning in from, because we do have an international audience tuning in, and I love celebrating our international community. We are here with Paul O'Mahony, my favorite Irishman, and he is talking about rethinking social media. I'd love to also know how many of you are your own boss. Are you entrepreneurs? Do you own your own company? Just say yes in the comments below. I'd love to know who owns their own business, and how many of you would like to start an online business in order to supplement your income or even take over your income. Just say yes, that's me in the comments below, because I'd love to know who is online and where you guys are at. As you know, I've moved completely online since COVID, and so nothing is in person anymore for me. Everything is online, and so what Paul teaches is essential to me, and I'm actually very lucky to be part of Paul's mastermind. But he has created courses and talks that will help you guys as individuals to take your businesses or your business idea and make it an extra stream of income or boost your stream of income that you already have. So I think, Paul, maybe just for everybody that's listening, that because I can see there are business owners online and there are people that are wanting to be business owners online, what would be 3 tips that you could give people right now that would be actionable, that they can use to take advantage of this online world that exists?
Okay, well, I guess there's a big difference between the people that have a business and those that want one. So maybe I'll start with those that that don't have one. I'll start with those, the people that don't have one. The first thing I would say for you guys, it's actually more around mindset. I would sit down and I would literally write down 100 reasons why you need an additional income source that doesn't rely on a job, and literally start making a list. I mean, one by one by one by one, 100 separate areas. Because the reason why you don't have an income online is not because you're technical, it's because you are too comfortable. Actually, it's the people that are too comfortable that they find it difficult to get themselves excited enough. Because if you actually sit back and think about it, most of us think, well, I'd like a nicer car, a bigger house, maybe work less, maybe holiday more, but that's your lottery winning plan. And your brain subconsciously goes, oh, I've heard this before. I've heard this since you were 5 years old. This is what happens when you win the lottery, and immediately associates this with as something that's not real. It's not going to happen. So we need to bring your conscious, your subconscious, your unconscious on board to actually appreciate that if you can find 100 reasons why this is a must, the rest will follow suit. And I'll get to the rest in a moment, but let's bring the mind in first. Because if you're starting and saying, I'll give it a try. I mean, have you ever tried to sit down or tried to stand up? It just means you're in advance giving up and giving yourself an excuse to fail, right? You either stand up or you sit down. And if you get very clear on 100 reasons why, and let me help you with that, I use the Rethink acronym, RETHINK, with an exclamation mark at the end, to give you 8 separate buckets that you can divide these 100 reasons out over. So R would be for your relationships with immediate family and friends. E would be for your earnings. Why would you need to create more money? T is for Tao, as in, the way, the underlying thing, what underlies everything. H is for health, physical health and mental health. I is for your investments, how to make your money work without a connection with time. N is for your network, expanding your network of friends, colleagues beyond your immediate family and friends. And K is for relationships, earnings, Tao, health, investments, network, for knowledge, for expanding your mental knowledge and mental ability so that you can make better decisions moving forward. And finally, the last bucket with the exclamation mark is for fun. The amount of fun things that you are not doing because you are constricted financially. And if you go through these 8 areas and come up with 100 reasons, you get very inspired to think, wow, I never actually considered that my parents' well-being, my children's schooling, my charity, my church, my foundation, my health, all of my longevity, how long I live on this planet, are all connected to financial constraints. So you start to feel like, I must make this happen. So that actually applies to whether you're in business and you want to take it to the next level, and stop playing in the shallow end, and you think, what, I got to take off my armbands and move in a bit deeper. Or if you just need to dip your toe in the water, find 100 reasons. Second thing I would say is make a decision around, do you want to be a personal brand or do you want to be a business brand? Because there's a clear distinction. A lot of people are very nervous of even getting started online. This again applies to whether you own a business or are thinking about it, because for the non-business owners, you don't want to get started in many cases because you're worried about what other people will think. So you think, how could I possibly set up a business and people not know it's me? Can I do it without my friends and family knowing? Ironically, the people who you think would want you to succeed are the people you want to hide from. And these are the mind games that we have got to overcome, but they're very real. So you make a decision. Am I the influencer? Am I the person taking pictures, selfies, videos, like a Susana, happy to be out there? Or do you think, no way, I hate that stuff, But that doesn't rule you out. You say, I'm going to create a brand, the SK Enterprises brand. You know, instead of being Susana Kennedy, it can be SKE, right? A nice logo, and you build an entire business behind a brand. It doesn't seem to have done McDonald's any harm, or Starbucks any harm, or Costa any harm, or KFC any harm, or Dell or Apple, right? You can build amazing businesses without them being personal brands, but make a clear decision from the front that you're either personality brand or a business brand. So then you actually have clarity on, oh, okay, I don't need to be worried about me being the front, it's a logo, it's a brand, okay? So that would be the second thing. And then, you know, build your social, I'll include in the second thing, build your social media then around that, your personality or the business brand, one or the other, choose which it's going to be. Then thirdly, I would decide very clearly, what problem are you solving for people? Nobody buys a product, they're buying a result. I am literally saving you years of working in a business by just that one statement, is what problem are you solving for people? What solution are they getting? Because you're thinking, most people, what am I going to sell? What product am I going to create? Nobody cares, right? Nobody buys a Hoover or a vacuum cleaner. They buy a clean floor, right? And a consistent clean floor. And that's what you need to remember, that the individual product or service, that doesn't matter, because that will always change. It's what am I solving for people, so that when I describe it, they go, that's exactly what I need, right? I help people become financially free, right? That's what I do. I don't focus on, you need to create a Facebook page and get this amount of likes and this amount of followers, because that distracts, right? People buy the outcome. People buy the beach body. They don't pay to learn how to do sit-ups and press-ups. But most people are constantly talking about, oh, I sell press-ups. I sell how to do the perfect sit-up. And that sounds like too much pain and no one wants to go near it. So get very clear on what problem you're solving for people. And as a fourth bonus element, think about, of all of those, of the people that you know, friends, family, colleagues, extended family, friends and colleagues, who among those people are the perfect fit for what you have on offer? Who's a perfect fit? Somebody who can pay for the solution, and somebody who is in the most pain right now around that product. So if, for example, you're not solving a product that is actually a big problem or a big pain for people, then it would be in the luxury category, and you're already minimizing your audience. The bigger the pain, the bigger the problem, the more sales that you can make. And then just make sure, as I keep saying, and Susana, it's something I keep telling you, is you gotta focus on people who can pay for it. Because in business, you then can become very soft, and for some reason we think, oh, well, let me just help people for free anyway, or let me just drop my prices and cut my prices and it'll up. Then you're the charity, right? Then you end up with the problem, right? So you have to value yourself, so that if you offer to people who can afford the solution, build a highly successful, profitable business, and with those profits, take some of it and build a foundation to help those who can't afford it. That's how you create a win-win situation. Otherwise, you confuse business and charity, and that just doesn't work. So you can separate both, and one can funnel the other, and it can inspire you to create a highly profitable business when you create a carrot at the end of it for yourself. That allows you to build a charitable foundation where you can literally help the people who couldn't afford the solution in the first place. So actually, now that I've gone through these apply to people whether they're thinking about it or whether they're already in business, because they can actually very much take those and refine their current message and their current targeting actually within their business model.
Absolutely. I mean, Paul, even now when you were speaking, you know, I mean, we've had so many conversations. I've attended many of your lectures, and I know this stuff, but every once in a while you hear information again and it just drops into your consciousness like on another level. And that's why it's so important, guys, to be the eternal student. That's why I'm always saying, be the eternal student, be hungry, be like curious, you know, be excited, because this is how we learn, and the levels of understanding deepen and deepen and deepen. Like when you were explaining it now, what is the problem that you are solving, but actually focus on the outcome. Like, what is the outcome that people want? That's what they want. It's the six-pack, not how to do a push-up. So focus on the push-up, focus on, hey, I can help you get a six-pack. And that's what is going to drive your audience and bring in the right people. I was laughing, Paul, because I basically wrote down, who are the people in the most pain with money?
Yeah.
That was the note I wrote down.
Pain in the asses is another description.
What did you say? Sorry?
A pain in the ass.
A pain in the ass, yeah.
Someone with money who complains.
Yeah, exactly. So that is so important, guys, because Paul is always reminding me, so is Lauren Dallas. And I've gotten so much better at it, but I'm always wanting to just help absolutely everyone. But the reality is, when we empower ourselves, we can empower so many more people. So even if you are one of those people like me who kind of wants to help absolutely everyone, remember that your ability to earn and spend money, listen to this carefully, will increase your ability to love. So like Paul was saying, that then you can have a charity organization, you can have something you're passionate about, and you can actually feed money into it and make a proper difference. But if you're not
100%
jacket on first, you're just a charity.
But 100%. Otherwise, you go into the mode of constantly asking people for handouts. Hey, I've got a charity. Can you give me some money to give them some money? And people go, no, because you're asked all the time for handouts. So there's nothing more empowering than creating the revenue yourself so that you channel it into whatever streams that you wish to. And so many people need to hear that, because it's sometimes it's a bit of a cop out, like, oh, no, I'm not into that, not into money, I just want to help everybody, not just people with money. That's a cop out. It's like saying I'm not technical. And it's using something that's not the problem at all to basically ultimately the fear of rejection. That's what it's coming back to, being afraid that if you put yourself out there and charge for yourself and put value on yourself, that people will say no, and some will and some won't. But it's just getting yourself out there. And that's why some people are nervous about putting their own personality out there. And I get that. So that's why you build a shell around yourself called the brand. And the brand can take the hits and you don't really mind, because nobody ever needs to know it's you. So there's always a solution. But you need to be surrounded by people that will encourage you to ask better questions, rather than, oh, why do bad things keep happening to me? Oh, why is the Wi-Fi so bad where I live, etc. Just disempowering questions, rather than, we are literally in a time that people now will be able to live till 150, 160, 170 years of age in our lifetime. This is just like a miracle time to be alive. So you get to choose what you focus on. And if you constantly focus on things that drag you down and bring you into a negative space and only watch bad news and take on this negative energy that's out there, and you decide, I'm going to own this, right? That's not going to help anybody. You need to kind of protect yourself, because you only have your own energy, your own life. Your job is to protect yourself, number one, and make, ultimately allow you to be happy and work to your highest values, because that's how you'll radiate. That's how you'll help the world. And for me, the internet is the enabler. If you can use that technical tool to help you out, you can get any message out there and help any people at any level, whether that's to allow yourself to be financially free, or whether that's just to grow your foundation or charity. That's your call. But ultimately, learn to embrace it, and, embrace the fear and do it anyway, because, we're all ultimately, we're all fearful of things, but you might as well just embrace it anyway and get on with it.
Absolutely.
Overcome the fear.
Yeah, overcome the fear, because the reality is that bravery is not the absence of fear. Bravery is feeling the fear and doing what needs to get done anyway. So I invite you all to always just, if you're feeling scared, put on those big girl panties and those big boy underpants and just step into it. Because when you do, it actually ends up being so much easier than you thought it would be. Honestly, this is a truth I have learned in my life. Phil is saying, Sifa Nele is saying, this is very insightful with heart and strong arms. Thank you so much. I'm glad that you're enjoying this. I'd love to know how many of you battle to ask for money. How many of you, is that your barrier? Because that's one of the things that I've also really come into my consciousness, is that that's your first block. That's everybody's first block, is getting your mind into the right place to earn money. And so that's why I love that your first step was start with your mind. Like, get your mind right, then you build your brand, and then what problem are you going to solve? Those were Paul's 3 steps. And anybody, whether you are a business owner or whether you are wanting to start your own business, if you follow those 3 steps, you will be like vastly ahead of most people, because so many people don't even start with those basics, and they are so important. They will set you up for success. So Paul, you are going to be doing a free talk at an upcoming event, which I am so, and we're talking about charity and not giving.
I know, I'm just thinking, God, I should be charging you for the hour, really, after, just to be consistent with my own, congruent with my own message.
I know, but the thing is, the reason why you are in a position to do this talk, this specific talk at this event, is because your business is sound, is because you practice good business, charge for your skills, value your content that you are giving. And so you are in a position to then give, because your cup is overflowing. It's not empty. And so many people at the moment are not even filling their cup halfway, never mind to the brim, and never mind overflowing. So for all of you that are still wanting to fill your cup, I would love to invite you to this event. It is happening on the 6th of August. It is called Empowered, and it is brought to you by me, Susana Kennedy, in collaboration with Future Females, which is one of my favorite foundations. They are absolutely brilliant. They've got branches all over the world, and we have collaborated to come together for this conference called Empowered. We have got 6 of the best speakers that I know. I just love them to bits. They were all invited, and Paul O'Mahony was one of them. And they will be giving 45-minute presentations, masterclasses. And Paul, do you want to tell everyone what they can expect from your 45-minute slot?
Yeah, sure. Well, regardless of whether you're in business or considering it or thinking about it, I want to break down for people what the 4 steps are that I would recommend to get started. And also, you know, I totally get why most people aren't fans of business, because there's a 96% chance of failure, you know, in a traditional type of business model. So I want to show you how you go from having a 4% chance of success with a business to a 100% chance of making your business work without taking any risks, without having to make any big investments, and actually showing you tools that are available to use completely for free to get started online for less than $1, which is pretty crazy, but that's the world in which we live, and help you overcome those gremlins that constantly hold us back when it comes to taking a step outside of your comfort zone. Because if you don't get out of that comfort zone, you're never getting out of your income zone, and it's as simple as that. So we need to step outside of that, because we're paid right now exactly in line with the value we provide to others. So if we want to get paid more, we need to be adding more value to ourselves first and foremost. So yeah, I'll break it down in super simple ways that people can just literally take it and go with that from there.
Okay, amazing. So I see that there are questions coming in right now saying, how do I start an online business with little or no capital? Join us on the 6th of August.
You don't need capital. Like you literally do not need capital. Actually, what I'll do, Susana, is anyone that registers and shows up, that's the most important bit, and shows up, I'll give them all a free digital copy of Rethink Social Media, so they've got no excuse, right? That book there beside me. So anybody that registers and shows up, and if you bring a friend along as well, they can get the same, because you know it's that kind of walks through all of this process for you as well, and it's something that you know you'll doesn't matter where you are, whether you're a 12-year-old, 22-year-old, or 52-year-old. You've got that at a minimum to really, you know, to go through the ABCs of getting started.
Amazing. What a lovely offer. So I hope that helps you guys. We are going to be promoting Empowered until the 6th, which is the date that it is going to happen. I also would just love to ask you, Paul, why? So I came up with this crazy idea and spoke to my good friend Lauren Dallas, who's the CEO and co-founder of Future Females, and Phil, the director of Future Females Foundation, and Serena, and they all these Future Females just jumped on board. But there's been an outcry in the Gugulethu community, and it is because gender-based violence is completely out of hand at the moment. So we literally have women coming in the middle of the night, knocking on the community center's door saying, we have nowhere to go. So we've been building temporary homes for these poor ladies. And when I say temporary homes, they are shacks, but they are temporary homes. It's something that they can go to in order to escape the situation. And every single cent that is raised at the Empowered event is going to building the community center and a proper safe house for these women that will actually empower them. So it's a soft place to land. They will be nurtured, but they will be educated so that they don't have to rely on anybody else to actually live, and they can go out there and look after themselves. Paul, when I asked you, you immediately said, yes, I'm on board. Why are you so generous?
Because if I said no, being honest, you'd keep harassing me till I said yes. So I just made it just so much easier to say yes first time now.
That is actually true. That is actually true. I am absolutely passionate about empowering people. And I think that I haven't heard of another event of this kind where every single speaker is coming in and anything that they sell, 100% is going to this actual cause, like directly. I'm not making a cent, and I know we've just been saying that we need to make money, but we're in the position to do this to help other people. And so Future Females is not making a cent, Paul isn't, none of the other speakers are, but it is a space where you can have a full day of education, learning about different areas that will empower you. And whatever you buy that day, you know that that money is going to be going to empowering others. So Paul, I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this. Yes, I absolutely would have bugged the shit out of you until you had said yes. But I'm so grateful it took one request and you were on board. Is there anything else you'd like to tell everyone before I let you go?
Yeah, just do Susana a favor and just think of 5 people that would massively benefit from them, and just text them or email them and say, look, with the current situation that's going on in South Africa, and they could be in the US, they could be in New Zealand, they could be in Romania, it doesn't matter. Just say, look, this is an event that's helping women in a situation in South Africa that are really, really in a poor place right now. Please, it would be great if you could come along to this completely for free, but it's and I think people will really appreciate that message. So the best thing that you can do other than showing up, which of course is a given, is to recommend this to 4 or 5 other people and ask them to do the same as well, because a truly viral effect on this could be amazing, and everybody has a part to play, like the ripple effect, so everybody has a responsibility, I believe, to help make things that little bit better, and it's not a huge ask to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you guys can, please save this video, share it on your social media platforms. I will put the sign up link in the description above for you guys, and please just get as many people as possible to come. And my invitation to you all is invest in yourselves. Like, invest in yourselves with the time by showing up, by registering and actually showing up and being there. Remember, Paul is going to literally share absolutely free 4 steps that you can take to empower yourself and put yourself into a position that is going to help you succeed. Whereas so many businesses fail because they don't take these 4 steps. So if you show up, just by showing up, you're going to get those 4 steps for free. But then also invest, guys. I really, really believe there is such power in the energy of money exchange when it comes to these things. like if you actually take some of your money and just invest in yourself, it's almost like a signal to the universe to go, hey, I'm serious about this change. I am investing in myself. Please, can you bring these different possibilities and opportunities to me? I honestly believe this, Paul. I don't know how you feel about that, but I feel very, very strongly about that. So I hope you guys will join.
It's like you mentioned earlier, you know, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. So, you know, come along on the day, see where you're at, where your head's at. You know, we're not going to tell you to do anything that doesn't feel right for you, but you certainly at some point will realize that your energy follows your money, right? Wherever you invest your money, you invest your time, and not the other way around. So, you know, even if, you know, people every now and again come out of the woodwork and say, well, if you're such a good guy, why don't you give all your stuff away for free? I say, well, it's simple, because nobody will do it. Because when anything is given for free, you immediately put zero value on it. So that's why, you know, when you start to take things seriously, you reprioritize your time in order to make sure that the things you put your money into, that you're going to get your money back out from them. And that's why that exchange is very real. Your time will only follow your financial investments. But again, these things you learn on the journey. I don't want anybody to be kind of overwhelmed with, you know, how many things there are to learn, because I read a lovely quote yesterday. I think it's from Seneca. It's like, he said, what else is a master but a master student? And that's so true, you know. So we all got to open up and listen and be open to listening to others and being willing to learn, because the world right now needs it. If you just go online, you just see the amount of black and white, and everything is either right or wrong. There's very few people are open to listening to other people's views and other people's opinions, and unfortunately that brings repercussions. So as we say, come on and listen to us, because we're going to explain our journeys, our stories. Hopefully you'll be inspired by them. And if you're serious about making commitments to yourself, you know that anyway. You know, whatever you're interested in, that's where your money goes already. So if you want to take things to the next level, we'll invite you to do that as well, completely up to yourselves. But one way or the other, make sure you invest the time to come to this event, and you'll learn an incredible amount in such a short space of time. And thank you, Susana, for putting it all together.
Oh, no, it's such a pleasure. I'm so excited. I've been working with this community center for 9.5, almost 10 years. And so this really is a vision of years coming together. And so I'm really, really excited about it. And I thank the girls from Future Females and Shandy as well, because they just have been exceptional in supporting this vision coming to fruition. And to each and every one of you for tuning in tonight, for being a part of this conversation, for being willing to spend the time and learn and grow. And I look forward to seeing you guys all on the conference. Sifanele is saying, this is so great for me as a teenager to know that there are people like you out there, which is so lovely. Thank you so much. And thank you to each and every one of you for tuning in. Remember to share, and register and comment, because the more people that do that, the more people will be able to see this post and see this information, and the more people we will be able to empower. I look forward to empowering you all. Paul, thank you. You're amazing.
Thank you. Virtual hugs.
Virtual hugs. Bye, everybody. Lots of love to you all.
Looks like I'm drinking Guinness, right? So I'm living right up to the stereotype.
You should be drinking Guinness. Do it.